Okay. I'm in the middle of delivering. That's why I can't really answer you guys fast or anything. Husband, I did find the curtains. So as husband, I found the fancy black curtains that you want, where they look cute and you can tie them back. And then you can undo the tie, and the little black curtains make privacy around each window and the windshield and the back rear window, so you can like have privacy within the vehicle. And they are cute. They're little black curtains, and it says they're really good like when you like to camp and you have like a car that's transferable into camping. It also says that these little curtains, it says these little curtains are very complimentary when you just buy a tent that like wraps around your car in general. Those things give the added privacy to go in and out of the car and the tent. That really made me think, wow, when I go camping, I might want to do that. It sounds kind of cool. I'm gonna look those kind of things up, but never mind. He's not gonna like that. He wanted the tent that goes down to pretty much nothing. So he wanted those little tiny little tents that roll up into pretty much tiny. So never mind. Great, this is transponder only. How am I going to get out of here? Oh, goodness. Sorry, I'm at Sun City trying to get out to get to my next delivery. Doesn't it suck when you're in a community where you can only get out one way, but the GPS will send you to all the dangity gates and doors that don't work for you anyway? And it's like, why does GPS send you to a gate that doesn't work without a transponder? Like, why would GPS send you somewhere that's not really necessarily going to work? I don't know. Well, so I'm driving around in Sun City, and as I'm driving around Sun City, a daughter noticed me. So you're a daughter in Sun City, and you know that I take care of an older lady and gentleman that lives by your mother. So you're the daughter, and you're here in Sun City, watching over and loving your mother who lives here in Sun City. And you're wondering how I take care of my loved ones in Sun City. In case you want to find out if your morals can afford for an angel or me or somebody to take care of your mother and help in the care of your mother. Because she's very old and takes her medicine and needs to be taken care of and stuff. I use my powers and I make little things that look like washcloths or towels. And I use those washcloths and towels I make with my powers to pull toxic or yuck or bad out of their inner spirit, soul, and body. And I do that throughout the day. And then I work with the caregivers or whoever it is that gives their medicine. And I work with the doctors or experts on what their exact issues are. And I keep trying to help them to just get a miracle or something where they're just all perfect forever. But until I get a miracle or something, I check with all the experts about their problems, their diseases, their issues, so I can do the most with the power of God I can do. As I make sure the caregiver or whoever gives them their medicine on time or just the way they need to, I use the power of God to complement and exacerbate and overload the beautiful benefit of medicine. But I also use the power of God to put a mixture in the medicine that makes a fun effect, kind of similar to herbs and vitamins that make them bigger and stronger. But it's better than herbs and vitamins because it comes from the power of God directly, and It's really, really complimentary to their pills. If they eat well and take vitamins and herbs regularly, then I just complement with the power of God what they normally do. If they don't eat well, they don't really like vitamins, supplements a lot, and they don't like herbal anything, then I make like a magical mixture that I put in them on a schedule, like giving medications or medicines. If they have muscles, bones, anything that like needs to be kind of held or babied or taken care of, I create all kinds of things with my powers that look like a crutch or a brace or something that holds their insides together. When people are getting old and decomposing and falling apart, it's really nice to make out of the power of God a lot of things that hold onto their body and make it so nice that they're not deteriorating in a way that it ever is bad for them. So that they're more like a baby, and the deterioration process is more like just returning to the child of God they are and going to sleep to go home to heaven. And they don't feel like the scary nightmare of their body decomposing pretty much and falling apart. You don't want to know what deterioration and getting old really means and looks like. It's better to use the power of God and turn them into something out of a Cocoon movie where they're all happy, like they're giddy little 20, 30-year-olds when they're 80 and 90 and stuff. So they could just have fun and then go to heaven and not really understand that Adam and Eve brought crime and murder into this planet, and then the planet killed Jesus, and it brought things like death that would have normally never existed and stuff. It's not actually a good thing. But that's kind of what I do. I use the power of God to make sure they don't slip or fall. I try to help them. I try to help them by using my powers to complement whatever physical therapies or happy help they get from everywhere and everybody. If they don't exercise or get help, I try to exercise their muscles and their brain and stuff and more when I have time, like little babies. In the world of gods, babies raised by angels, they get a lot of exercise of their brains and stuff before school and before everything. If you ever heard that having your baby listen to like really fancy, popular, old music like Beethoven is something that helps them to be smarter, it really is true. If you go in and exercise a brain, it makes learning or being superior very simple and easy. In the older or the elderly, you're trying to exercise their brain to fight against Alzheimer's and try to just keep them as amazing as possible until they go to heaven and don't have that same body anymore, or until they go to the island of gods and are transformed and aren't technically human anymore. I hope I answered everything. Is that everything I would do for your elderly mother? Probably not. I'd probably do just about everything that would make sense. That's really similar to kind of what I'm going over. So let me know. And how are we doing?